What is going on, everybody? NFL Week 9 is here, and this is my weekly picks video where I go through every single one of my player props that I placed a bet on this week. Before I get into the plays, a couple quick housekeeping items. Number one, join the free Discord. We have a really good community. There's a link located in the description below. I love when people watch these videos and win money themselves on a parlay or a straight bet or something, and they come into the Discord and they post in the Share Your Wins channel. So come and do that. Come be a welcome member of the community. It gets really popping in the NFL and NBA season. There's about, I think, 1,700 people in there at this point. So it's really a great place to be. Number two, if you want to become a VIP and get all these bets that I'm going to talk about here in this video really early in the week. So, for example, one of the bets I'm going to share with you guys here, the line moved 15 yards from when I posted it for the VIPs on Tuesday, and now I'm sharing it with you guys on Saturday night. So that's the number one perk of becoming one of the VIPs. Another perk is to I was up over $2,000 in the month of October with a $25 unit size. That's 80 units in 1 month of profit, and every single one of those slips was posted for the VIP members to tail. So that's perk number two. And then perk number three of becoming a VIP, I do a long write-up with every one of these plays too. So I'm not just spitting a play out there in a screenshot. I'm actually giving you insight to my mind, my thought process in picking these plays. And it makes me even more accessible in the Discord server too. We have a little private chat in the premium section where you guys can reach out with your questions, and I dig really much deeper into my brain on some of these plays than you could if you weren't a VIP member. If you want a 7-day free trial for that, use the link in the description below. You'll get 7 days for free. I have another promotion too. If you sign up for Underdog Fantasy, if you don't have an account with Underdog Fantasy, and you sign up using my code LayTheHouseRM or by using the link down below, I'll actually give you 3 months for free of my VIP. Just send me a message on Discord or Twitter or something with a screenshot of your deposit being accepted with my promo code on Underdog Fantasy, and I'll send you a link for 3 months free of the VIP. That gets you through the rest of this NFL season and almost to the NBA All-Star break too. So a ton of value in doing that if you were interested. So last thing here before I get into the plays, I'm using Outlier.bet. This is my favorite research tool. I use it for literally everything. It has saved me so much time throughout the years, just going through all the player cards, finding these really good trends. And they even sent me this really cool hat. I'm not wearing it right now because I prefer to, wear the RM hat, but how sweet are that? How sweet is that? We love Outlier here, and I'm going to keep pumping them just because they're the best product, dude. I use this every single day for everything. When I do a live stream, I have it up. When I do a video, I have it up. It's honestly worth every penny. I'll be honest with you guys. So let's get into the plays here. First play I'm going to touch on is a play that moved an absolute crap ton from when I posted it. So I posted this number for the VIP members on Tuesday. This Bijan Robinson under on the rushing yards. The number I got was 75.5. The number is currently 64.5 on Underdog Fantasy. The reasoning behind this Patriots run defense is no joke at all. They're only allowing 54 rushing yards per game. They are the number one ranked rush defense in the NFL based on yards allowed, and they've held running backs like Quinshon Judkins and James Cook all under 50 yards. They actually haven't allowed a single running back to go for over 50 yards against them. And considering Bijan Robinson and the Falcons are slight underdogs going into New England this week, I don't think that trend changes. I think they keep him under 50 yards as well. So I probably would take this under 64.5, but it's not as safe as a 75.5 that I got earlier on in the week because he went under the number 5 out of 7 times as compared to going this under 64.5, 3 out of 7. But I still think it's a pretty strong play. I probably won't play the 64.5. I'm just going to stick to the 74 or 75.5 that I got earlier on in the week. But that's my thought process behind that one. Moving over to my next play, we'll just stick in the same game in this one, kind of go out of order of my notes, so sorry if I get a little sporadic here. But we're going with Hunter Henry, under 34.5 receiving yards. It's now 33.5 on Sleeper. If you're over on PrizePicks and Underdog and Hard Rock, it looks like it's 30.5, which is still a solid number. I think this Falcons defense is legit too. I think both the Patriots run defense and the Falcons pass defense are really good. The Falcons are only allowing 15 yards per game to tight ends this season. Henry only had 1 catch for 7 yards last week in a pretty much almost as difficult matchup against the Cleveland Browns, which is another defense that I've been avoiding this year with overs. The Falcons They have not allowed any tight ends to go for over 21 yards against them this season. So, kind of similar to the Patriots trend, they haven't allowed a 50-yard rusher. The Falcons haven't allowed a tight end to go for over 21 yards against them. So, I would ride that with this Hunter Henry under. It is a bit scary because he has gone over this number in 3 out of 8 games this year. But the 34.5 is like a 50% hit rate. But considering he struggled in that matchup last week against the Browns, another tough defense against the Falcons this week, I'm willing to go back on against the tight end against the Falcons. So Hunter Henry under 30.5 yards is pick number 2. Okay. So next play is going to be, let's touch on Kareem Hunt over 51.5 rushing yards. So let me scroll here. This line's actually moved down to 44.5, which I really wasn't expecting, to be honest with you guys. I posted this at 51.5. It's a really good matchup for him against the Bills. Isaiah Pacheco got ruled out, which I fully expected this to happen. And when Pacheco got ruled out, I was like, yes, his line is going to go up to like 65.5, right? Like I was stoked. Another line's gone down to 44.5, and I just don't know how to take this. Are they going to involve Brashard Smith a bit more? I saw Clyde Edwards-Helaire was activated off the practice squad too, so that might be a reason behind this. But I was fine at taking this number at 51.5. I'm completely fine at taking it at 44.5 too, without Pacheco. So if I filter for games without Pacheco the last 2 seasons, so we'll filter for games without Pacheco. Look at the last 10 games. There's only been 8 games. He averages 72.1 rushing yards per game in those 8 games without Pacheco, going over the number 7 times. The Bills, they are allowing 114.3 rushing yards to running backs this year, for 4th worst in the NFL. The way to beat the Bills, I've been saying it all year, is by beating them on the ground. They gave up 170 yards to Bijan Robinson a few weeks ago. Last week, 54 yards to Dowdle and 34 to Hubbard. Earlier on in the year, Alvin Kamara, as dust as he is, ran for 70, and Kendry Miller had 65. Like, they give up a lot of rushing yards. Is that going to be the way the Chiefs want to attack them? Maybe not. They are on the road. It is possible that Buffalo gets up early and all this, but I'm still trying to figure out why this number went down so much for Kareem Hunt. And it looks like it's still going down at this point too. You can even get like 40 on some of these other sites, but I'm fine with taking this 44.5. If I'm wrong on it, then I'm wrong, but I got 51.5. And like I said, his trend with Pacheco being out is looking really good. The matchup's really good. And he's probably going to get at least 10 to 15 rush attempts in this game. So I would hope so, at least, unless Clyde Edwards-Helaire takes them all, or Brashard Smith or something. But I do like this play. Like I said, I'm on it. I have a couple of slips with it, and if it burns me, it burns me. Next play, we're going to go over to another running back, and it is Chuba Hubbard over 1.5 receptions. Now, this is an interesting prop because it's plus money on Hard Rock. It's plus money on Underdog Fantasy and Flip and all these other websites. But basically, Chuba's gone over this number in 5 out of 6 games this year, even though he's really not known for his receiving games work. But he's playing about 60% of the snaps as compared to Dowdle's 40. There was some coach speak that came out earlier this week, or maybe yesterday or so, that Rico Dowdle's going to be the main guy. But I won't believe it until I see it. And even if Dowdle is the main guy, I still think Chuba is going to get more of the receiving work and the routes run, because he has run 12 more routes in the last 2 weeks as compared to Rico Dowdle. And that was after that giant explosion by Rico too. And the Packers, they are allowing 5.9 catches per game to running backs this year. They have allowed 2 or more catches to 12 different running backs this season already. So that's a large number of running backs in a limited number of games to have 2 catches against you. It's possible that both Chuba Hubbard and Rico Dowdle both get 2 catches, but I'm going to ride the Chuba. I think, he's gotten enough receiving work in the last few weeks that he should be able to get 2 catches, or at least, enough targets to give him the opportunity. So my best guess is probably 3 targets. Hopefully he gets 2 catches from those 3 targets this week against the Packers. I've got 2 more straight bets before I get into the parlay fillers. This one I'm going to touch on here is the same game, and it is, same game as the Chiefs game. It's Josh Allen under 236.5 passing yards. I actually just added this one in on Saturday. I was on the fence on it the entire week, and then the line started moving up. And so I feel like I'm getting a better number on it too. I don't know, maybe I'm reading this Chiefs and Bills game completely wrong, but I'm not always going to be right. But like I said, I'm just giving you guys full candid of my thought process on everything here. But Josh Allen's gone under this number in 5 out of 7 games this season. He's only averaging 222.9 yards per game. The Chiefs are allowing the third least passing yards per game in the NFL at 177.8. And Justin Herbert is actually the only quarterback to go for over 221 yards against them this season. So there's been a narrative last few years that the Chiefs' run defense is absolutely elite, and the way to beat the Chiefs is in the air. Looking at the metrics this year, it seems like it flipped like a complete 180. They are elite in the air this year, but they're getting gashed on the ground. So I'm going to lean towards these numbers and that Josh Allen struggles in the passing game and the Chiefs hold them down. The way to beat the Chiefs, apparently, maybe, is by using James Cook a bit more or Josh Allen using his legs a bit more. But there could be like a scenario where the Chiefs put up like 30 points and Josh Allen has no choice other than to air it out. But I have enough confidence in the Bills' pass defense that it won't get to that point. So I'm going to go with this under on Josh Allen. It's always kind of scary to take a stud player like this in a big game on an under, but I'm not here to be afraid. I'm here to make money, and these are just the kind of bets that I like to make. I've got one more play. My favorite play of the week, actually. My favorite play of every freaking week in the last 2 years. CeeDee Lamb, over 24.5 longest reception. A lot of you guys doubted me last week against the Broncos. They were like, oh, there's no way CD goes over this number with Patrick Surtain. It didn't matter. He had 29 yards on his longest reception. Going back the last 2 seasons, I'm going to throw out this game with a 0 because CeeDee Lamb got hurt in like the second play of the game. I'm going to throw away this last game of the year against Atlanta last year because Dak Prescott got hurt in that game. So in the last 11 healthy games where CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott are on the field, CeeDee Lamb has never gone below a 27-yard longest reception. So that's 11 out of 11. The books keep giving us this line at 24.5 and 25.5. Maybe they were scared of the matchup against Surtain last week. I get it. But this line's just been absolute money. It's 100% win rate over the last 2 years when both these guys are playing. And it's giving us some wiggle room too, because he's gone over 27 every time and they're going to give us 24. I'm just going to keep taking this. I'll probably take this every game for the rest of the year, unless it falls off for like 3 games in a row or something, but that's a risk I'm willing to take. Or if they eventually do move it up, this line needs to be 27.5. There's no doubt about it, but if they're going to keep giving us this number, I'm going to keep taking it and hopefully taking it to the bank. So actually, if this line hits, I made so many parlays with this line, with this prop earlier on in the week with the NBA and the NFL. I had all these profit boosts and stuff, and I just combined them all with CeeDee Lamb. So, we might end up winning like $1,500 on Monday night if CeeDee Lamb gets a deep catch against the Cardinals, which Cardinals pass defense isn't that great too. So that's pretty good for him. So that's going to wrap up the straight bets. I now have 4 parlay fillers I'm going to share with you guys. Sorry, this video is a bit longer than I normally do, but I tend to go deeper into the NFL plays than I do the NBA, just because there's much more to talk about. And usually I have way more plays than what I have today. I only have 10 in total. Typically I end up with like somewhere in the 12, 15 range, but I only have 4 parlay fillers. The way to play these parlay fillers is, or Green Goblin plays on PrizePicks. You can either take them and combine it with the promos. So combine it with Taco Tuesday, combine it with like one of the free wins or discounted props. So it's essentially just like a free double up in a sense. Or combine it with 1 or 2 of these straight bets and just kind of give you a little boost on your payout. Or you could just play all 4 of these together. And I think the line ends up being around even money if you play all 4 of these together, maybe even better. But yeah, I usually hit these around 90% of the time. It's actually been down a little bit the last few weeks or last few days for NBA. But for NFL, I can't remember the last time I missed one of these parlay fillers. So I've got 4 of them today. The first one I'm touching on is Daniel Jones, over 199.5 passing yards. He's gone over this number in all 8 games this season, while averaging 257.8 passing yards per game. The Steelers defense, we have been attacking it the entire season. They're allowing 273.3 passing yards per game, for the absolute worst in the NFL. Every quarterback this season against the Steelers has had 218 passing yards or more, and that list includes Dylan Gabriel and Justin Fields, two guys who are way below Daniel Jones and some of these other league average or above average quarterbacks. So I think this is a solid play. There is always an outcome where Jonathan Taylor runs for 200 yards and they just don't do anything. But I respect the Steelers offense enough to get something going against the Colts, where Daniel Jones should easily go over this 200-yard mark. I mean, he had 272 in a blowout last week. He had 212 in a blowout a few weeks ago. So even if the game gets out of hand, he can go over this number pretty easily, and it's not that high. So going along with this play, though, I do have a second parlay filler from this game. And, like I mentioned before, this Steelers defense is something we are targeting all year. And I'm really unsure on which receiver I want to take from the Colts. There was a trend that I saw out there being tossed around of like Alec Pierce, a regular receiving line. That I'm a little afraid of that one because he is technically the fourth receiver on the team. You have Pittman, Downs, and Warren ahead of him. And there was a trend where like Pierce hit like 5 in the last 6 games or something like that. But it's too much of a gamble for me to take. If I go down to the target shares, it's only a 23% for Pittman, 20% for Warren. Like, there's no true alpha on this team. Pittman and Warren get the majority, but once you get down to like this Downs and Pierce, it's a bit more of a gamble, and I'm really not too sure what I'd want to do with those. But anyways, this Michael Pittman line, 29.5 is the number. Pittman does lead the team in target share at about 23%. He's gone over this number in 7 out of 8 games this season, averaging 55.8 receiving yards per game. The Steelers defense, it's Swiss cheese. This is the best matchup he's probably going to get the entire season. Steelers allowing 182.6 receiving yards per game to receivers, and they've actually allowed 13 wide receivers to go for 30 or more receiving yards against them. So I'm going with this Michael Pittman Jr. over 29.5 receiving yards to go with that 30-plus trend against the Steelers. 2 more picks for you guys, so bear with me here. I'm running out of voice too. It's been a long week here. Next player, we're going to go with Keenan Allen, over 24.5 receiving yards. So Allen's gone over in all 8 games this season while averaging 59.9 receiving yards per game. He's actually gone over this number in 22 out of his last 23 games, going back to last season with the Bears. And his production, his role this year with the Chargers is way more involved as compared to what it was with the Bears last year. That Bears offense last year was just a total shit show. But now he's at the Chargers. He had Justin Herbert throwing in the ball. He leads the team in target share with 24%. And the Titans allow the 5th most receiving yards per game. The wide receivers at 162.4 per game. 18 wide receivers have gone for 25 or more yards against the Titans so far this season. And I think Keenan Allen should definitely make it number 19. McConkey probably will too, or one of these other guys. So loving that Keenan Allen prop. And then my final play of the week is Jahmyr Gibbs, over 49.5 rushing yards. So this is another matchup that I've been exploiting for a few weeks against the Minnesota Vikings. But Jahmyr Gibbs has basically taken over as the lead back of the Lions this year. It's not the 50-50 split, Sonic and Knuckles you had last year with Gibbs and Montgomery. It's basically Gibbs this year. If I look at the rushes share for the team, Gibbs has about 50% of the carries, Montgomery 38% of the carries. It was more about like 40-40 last year. So Gibbs is definitely getting way more run. He's gone over this number in 6 out of 7 games this year, averaging just over 75 yards. The Vikings, they allowed the 8th most rushing yards per game this season, but they've been gashed by Vidal, Judkins, Gainwell, and Bijan Robinson, all going for over 100 yards against them in recent weeks. So this Vikings run defense has been rough in the last 4 or 5 weeks or so, ever since they went to London. I think it was London when they played, wherever they were overseas. They've just been getting gashed left and right. The Lions, 8.5-point favorites at home. Jahmyr Gibbs should easily clear this line. This is as low as you can get on him. This 49.5. But honestly, if you want to ladder this all the way up to 100, I think he can run for 100 yards this week. And I don't think that's a bad bet for a long shot. But that's going to wrap up the plays this week. 10 of them. Like I said, this video is a bit longer, a little over 20 minutes now at this point. But if you like this content, subscribe to their channel, drop a like on this video too. It definitely helps me out. Join the free Discord server using the link in the description below. If you want to become a VIP, get the 7-day free trial using the link down below as well. And best of luck on your bets this week, everybody. I hope I see you guys post your wins later on in the Discord, and we can all cash in together with NBA the rest of the week. I'll be back tomorrow or Monday with an NBA video for you guys. So best of luck, and thanks for watching.